Alright guys, just want to do a quick guide on the Python and which amorphous materials you're going to want to farm to get it the quickest. So as with all farms, you want to farm these three parts first and you want to get them crafting. They have a 2 hour craft time, whereas the code doesn't need crafting, and so whilst these are crafting it gives you 2 hours to go out and get the code, so that can save you a little bit of time all in all. So for the first part, the polymer, you're going to want to farm pattern 54. Reason being is you don't want to farm any of the common or normal mode drops. They're just too low a chance to get the item, so you're just going to be wasting a lot of time. So stick with one of the hard ones. And the reason why you want to go for 54 over 88 is this boss is just terrible to farm, whereas 54's boss is extremely easy, and so you're going to save a lot of time by farming this boss rather than 88's boss. The only downside to this is it does use inorganic as a primary, but you're going to waste less time farming inorganic than you would if you went and tried to farm the boss on 88, to stick with pattern 54. So for the second part, the fibre, you're going to want to farm pattern 96. Reason being, these are actually very similar in terms of how long it takes to farm the amorphous materials at around 6 minutes, but all in all, Swamp Walk is a slightly easier boss. Really on this one it is more down to personal preference, whichever boss you prefer to farm, but for most people it's going to be a much more consistent farm doing Swamp Walker, because obstructed can be failed when farming this in public lobbies. And again, you don't want to farm either of the commons just because of the low drop chance. So for the third part, the tube, you're going to want to farm pattern 59. Reason being is, again, you don't want to farm normal or common just for the low drop chance, and you want to always try and prioritize intercept battles over void fusion reactors. Even with the recent change to void fusion reactors and the timer being lowered to 1 minute from 5 minutes, it's still just a slightly worse farm. All in all, takes a little bit longer, and you're having 2 layers of RNG. So you have the layer of RNG of whether or not you get the amorphous material from the outpost, and then of course the usual RNG of whether or not you get the item out of the amorphous material. Whereas with intercept battles you're always guaranteed at least 1 amorphous material, and you can guarantee yourself 2 if you start messing around with the difficulty score. So you only have that 1 layer of RNG of whether or not you get the item out of the amorphous material. So just go with pattern 59. It's also a very quick farm and a very easy boss to do. It's sort of the easiest hard boss. So lastly for the code, you're going to want to farm pattern 63. Reason being is this boss is one of the easiest bosses to fight, and it also uses the best shard in monomer. It's by far the fastest shard to farm for, so you can't really ask for a better void fusion reactor. You don't want to farm pattern 123 just because it is a more difficult boss than pattern 63, and you don't want to farm pattern 71 just because it is a slightly more difficult boss. So save your time and go for pattern 63. In terms of the pain point items, first one is a crystal biogel. You don't have too much choice, it's just from outposts, so pick an outpost that you want to farm. You can do it on normal, it's sort of just going to make your life easier, and just farm that on repeat until you have enough of the items. For the second pain point item, the positive ion particle, you're going to want to go down here and you're going to want to farm commanding ground. What this is, it's one of sort of the missions where you have to sit inside a barrier and waves of enemies are spawning, and you'll get multiple yellow health bar bosses that spawn in here, so you have a multiple drop chance. Just go with that and farm it until you have the items you need. For the third pain point item, it's just simply encrypted storage boxes. So hop on Enzo and just go through Vespers for the encrypted storage boxes. My preferred spawn points are here in Ruins and here in the Lost Supply Depot. You'll just sort of spawn in, do a quick spin around, see if you get a ping, and if you get a ping, go for it. If not, just TP to the spot and do that sort of back and forth until you have enough of the item. So yeah, hope that helps. Thanks.